did get a link, I would make them available on my website.
Whatever we have on tape, I'll copy it in whatever format we
Yeah,
get it.
that's fine.
So,
But I mean, I could link the live stream right to my website. The more the merrier. We have some really good stuff, including the show.
Oh, shut up. Shut up.
All right, you tell us when. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Saratoga Springs Horse Show. I'm Wayne Williams, along with my beautiful co-host.
Oh, so sweet. You've left me speechless. I'm Susan Kane. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us today. We are on day 3 of the Saratoga Springs Horse Show. The sunshine is out, and today is a really big day for juniors and amateurs. Lots and lots of classes, full days in each ring.
We've got a lot going on today. We have beautiful sunshine, as you said. And before we get into your results from yesterday that are left over for the report, just a quick reminder to everybody, this is the Saratoga Springs Horse Show, and it does benefit the Capital Fund Foundation, or the Capital Fund of Saratoga County, who supports many charities, domestic violence, Cornell Extension, 4-H Youth Development, soup kitchens, food pantries. We'll read you a list as we go on, but there are many, many charities that benefit from this capital fund, running this horse show and donating this money to a very good cause from this horse show.
Really tremendous, Wayne. The Capital Fund of Saratoga, do you know that is a completely volunteer-based organization?
It is amazing. I met them for the first time last September here at the Saratoga Horse Expo that they do at the track, and met the people, loved the people, all volunteer, and you love that number. In the last couple of years they have
actually raised $81,000. I was getting an update on the website last night. So Capital Fund of Saratoga is committed to enabling and empowering local non-for-profit organizations by providing financial support, and they most certainly have. $81,000 they have donated to local organizations, and this horse show is an integral part of that effort.
Now, just before we get into your report, quickly, you will see scrolling on your screen, if you'd like to donate, and all donations are deductible and they help a great cause here in the Saratoga area, you can text Saratoga to 50155 for a very secure donation, or you'll see a phone number scrolling there as well. Call our operators, 518-306-5121 for a very secure donation. Or if you're here on the grounds, and we invite you to come out and enjoy this show, in the exhibitor tent over by the jumper ring, there is a kiosk, and you can actually make a very safe donation through the kiosk as well. So, we really appreciate you being here. We're trying to get a couple of guests situated here, and I'm kind of chuckling because
Here, come this way. Come this way. You're going to meet the guests in an unconventional way.
the guests are coming in behind
They're
us.
coming in. Actually, girls, you're going to go behind
Go right on.
Roger, the cameraman, and over onto the couch.
All of you people, keep in mind, this is live TV, okay? And we are bringing in a lot of guests who may never have done this before. So.
Well, I found 2 lovely, lovely young ladies, and I went out with the broadcast hook and said, girls, would you have time for an interview?
There you go.
Willingly, they said yes.
Do you want to do your report first, or should we talk to the girls?
No, let's chat with the girls. They are dressed and ready to ride, so we want to make sure they get to their classes.
We're getting them
on
mic'd
time.
up. Please call or text, do a donation, and help out the Capital Fund for Saratoga for the horse show. 55 continual years now.
Yes, yes.
Amazing.
Really, and
very happy to be here.
Yes, making history in Saratoga with each consecutive year. So, girls, when you're mic'd up and ready, good so far.
Are you all set?
That one fell off.
Right, we're going to have you open with a song. What would you like to sing?
What would you like to sing?
Well, they told me you were singers. Isn't that what it was? No? No, that's okay. Go ahead, relax. Introduce yourselves first.
Well, I'm Phelan Assalta.
I'm Maggie Green.
Yeah. No, I'm 13.
I'm 13 as well.
You're 13 too?
Yes,
Yeah.
turning
I thought
14
is that the
very
height of your horse,
shortly.
or is that your age? 13
Our
too?
ages.
Your age. Okay.
Mine horses. Yeah.
I'm just joking. Calm down. You're fine. You look very nervous.
Don't really care.
So
Okay.
go ahead, Susan.
Tell me your names again. I got Maggie, and what's your name?
Phelan.
Phelan? How do
Yeah.
you spell that?
F-A-I-L-E-N-N.
Very nice. That's unusual.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah. Okay, so Phelan and
Maggie.
Maggie. Tell us about your Saratoga experience.
Well,
We both came up yesterday and separately, but we both came up and we rode our horses in a lesson with our trainers, and we just missed the rain, thank God, I think.
I did it.
Oh, she did it, right.
I didn't miss it, right?
It was very fun. But
I think I was walking back to our barn when just
I was walking
sky
down
just
to here.
opened up.
So I was like, oh, yes. Perfect timing every time. Like,
So, have you shown at Saratoga before?
I have last year I came and like it was like my first time because the years before I had a small pony and then we didn't know, like I didn't know that well about this show, and he was like he couldn't do that many because he was so small, and the height I did was a lot of pressure on him, and so I was like, okay, let's take it easy. So we had to do a little bit of shows instead of a lot with him. And then when I got my large, I went down, and then that's when I came last year. And then I did a really good time last year.
Nice. So,
It
what
was nice.
about you?
This is
Maggie?
my first year showing here, so I'm excited. I'm happy that everything went well yesterday, and
Didn't die.
So, what classes are you showing in?
Today I think we're both showing in the limit equitation, which is a 3-foot equitation division as a warm-up, and then later this weekend we're showing in the children's 14 and under hunters, and then the Marshall and Sterling Classic.
And I'm doing the M&S. I'm also doing the same thing and the M&S medal.
And you both ride at the same stable?
We
Yes.
do.
Who's your trainer?
Amanda and Jules. Starbuck.
Amanda and Juliana Starbuck and Janie Weber.
Oh, Juliana Starbuck. I know her name for
Yes.
many years. She's quite a successful rider.
Yes.
And a really cool name, too.
So where are you guys from?
Connecticut.
I'm from South Salem, New York.
Or like Weston, Connecticut. If you don't know where that is, like Westport, Connecticut, like Wilton,
Newtown?
around there. Yeah, right next to there.
Right next to Newtown. I know where Newtown is, yes.
Not many people know where my town is, so I have to like take the town that's closer to
It's
it.
one of those towns where you can't get there from here, right?
What?
Right.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of nowhere.
No, it's beautiful country there. It really
Yeah.
is, yes.
So, how did you get started with horses?
Oh, okay. Well, like when I was younger, I was like 6. My best friend used to ride, and my best friend's older sister used to ride, and she used to ride too. And I was like, oh, I want to do this. Like I always loved horses. I want to ride. And like I went to my barn, like the one I'm at now, and I was like, oh, this like seems really nice. And I started there at the summer camp, and then after about the summer, I started leasing this little pony, who's Devil. But he got me to be a good rider. He tried killing me like a lot of times. You know, I survived.
I think
And
we all
then
go through those.
I moved on to then a small pony hunter, and then I was like, oh, okay. So I just kind of started out slow at their summer camp and just went on. Like I always have been there. I've never been to another barn, so it's nice knowing that you never changed. But
Phelan, for you, is it about the competition or more about the fun and enjoyment of spending time with your horse, or a little bit of both?
it's a little bit of both. I love showing, and like I love when I do well, or like I know that like even if I don't do well, I always have another chance. And it's not like it's the end of the world if I don't do it. It's just like I love doing that, but I also love taking care of my horse. Like my horse, sorry, I just like hit you in my arm. My horse is being taken care of by grooms. Like the people at my barn take care of my horse. Like they tack up and stuff. But I still love going over and tacking up my horse and untacking it, because like it's a bond is really special when you ride. If you don't have one, it's kind of not really fun as much. Like
It doesn't mean near as much if all you do is get on.
yeah,
You
so-
have to do the prep work, and the horse has to get to know you.
yeah.
You have to have you said it, bond. You
Yeah.
have to have that.
My old pony, my large, he, like if I didn't have that bond with him, I wouldn't be able to ride him because he was such a bad pony that like that bond was really good. Like I could know every little move he was gonna do before it like happened. He used to rear and fuck. He was like, but he was a bad pony. But in like outside when you weren't showing, he got in the showing, he'd be like an angel. Like he'd be like, oh, I'm so cute. Look at me, judges. I'm beautiful. Like before that, he wouldn't be that great. But that bond helped me a lot because I could learn what he was going to do. Like when I got off him, like when he was gonna nip me or when he was gonna like paw or when he was just gonna do those little tricks. That bonding time, aside from that, helped me so much because I could learn every little thing about him and maybe why he was doing that more than he's just doing that because he doesn't want to do it. Where it was really that we think before that he was like abused by other horses because like the trainers didn't have him, or we just think something like that kind of happened, and also he was gelded late, so he was like, you know, he thought he was all the manly and he wasn't. It just didn't.
Yes.
He thought he was kind of full of himself.
Just like the boys in school, right?
Full of himself. He thinks he's all great, but he's not.
Well, that's great advice to share for our
Yeah.
viewers at home or any
Yeah.
young girls thinking about riding, that the groundwork and time
It
spent
helps so
out
much.
of the saddle is equally as important, especially if you have a devil pony in the barn. Maggie, tell us about your horse.
I'm riding currently right now a horse named Amelia, and she's a black mare, and she has a little heart marking on her forehead, which is what I think a lot of people comment on when I ride. But I just got her in September, so this is like one of our first bigger shows, and like definitely moving up this like back up to the 3 foot is like this is I think one of our first like bigger shows. So but yeah, I started riding because my mom used to ride and she had her own horse and she just introduced me to it and I really liked it. And I started off at another barn and I think it was that I was a little too young to really like lease a horse, and that's what they wanted me to do. So we went to Starbuck Equestrian, which is where I'm currently at now, and they were just really accommodating. They said whatever you would love to do, we'd be happy to train you whenever you want, and it's just been a really good experience there.
Since you met
So-
me.
Yes. Phelan.
Well, aside from meeting Fallon, what have been some of your most memorable moments with horses so far?
I had a pony last year that was like the love of my life. His name was Stewie, and he was just, I think, one of the best parts. I had him for 2 years, so I think they were my favorite part of riding and this year. But he was the best pony, and I leased him. So our lease ended in September, so it was sad to definitely send him back, but definitely I miss him a lot.
What were some of your favorite things about him?
He was just an absolute sweetheart, and he was just, like Phelan said, like tacking up and having a bond with your horse is so important, that like having one that's really sweet and just wants to just like love you and just loves his job. I think that's what made leasing him mostly so special, I think. So yeah, and he was great at shows, and he's just a good pony.
So we're the opposite from me. Having him so mean and stuff made the bond great with us.
Mm-hmm.
But
Love-hate
don't
relationship.
you find that as you progress in your own riding abilities, that it does become time to move to another horse, it's better, for the ability level you've gotten to, and then you also get the advantage of being able to go from horse to horse and hone your skills as far as being able to read that horse quicker and progress more. It helps you become more versatile, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I had three ponies before mine now, and I have moved off of them each one. But I have moved off of each, like one, and it is like a good skill to have when you move off them quick enough in a way, but also it's kind of annoying at the same time because you grow something with them and then you leave them and you're just like, oh, it's so sad.
I think that's
It's
the
really,
worst part.
Yeah, like my pony, like my old pony, like the one I was talking about, his like name's Howie, and the show named like Comedy Hour. And when he left, I was like crying, I was like bawling because like I had such a good time with him. Like we won a lot, and it was like nice, and like
We
he
were
was a
all
good
crying.
boy. Everyone loved him. Like
Yeah.
and he wasn't sweet. Everyone loved him for that, but because of how he was, like his love-hate relationship, everyone about, how he would be mean, but he would like think it was a game. He would like try to nip you, and then you like back.
She had a
and
very
you'd be like, "Oh
unique
my God."
personality.
He was just a lot of fun to be with, and he would like, I would like walk down the hill, and he would like try to go and like bite my head, and I'd turn around, and he'd be like, no, what? I wasn't doing that. What? No, and then I'd walk and he'd do the same thing. It's really nice, like having it with him. But then I had to move off to like my new horse, Parker, and you know, it's kind of sad, but.
Have you been able to keep track of the ponies
Yeah.
and talk to
Yes.
their new riders? Give them some insights?
Yeah.
I am actually, for Stewie, I'm not sure if he has been leased out yet. I know he had a suspensory injury a long time ago that has kind of been coming back, which is unfortunate, but I know he was being ridden by his owner, who is just amazing. She's an amazing rider. She rides for the Marist equestrian team in college, and she's like I thought that I was completely obsessed with him. I think she's owned him now for 8 years, and I think she's been riding him for the past 6 months, and so I've been talking to her about where he's at, and hopefully he'll be back in action soon.
What are your goals for this particular show?
The show I'm planning on getting around. So, like, I don't know, just not. This is like not like I don't know, dying or something. I don't know, just not extremes at the moment because this is my first A show at the 3 foot. Like I did a few C shows and like home shows practice, but those aren't a legitimate 3 foot.
Mhm.
This is a legitimate 3 foot, and like because the rings do have like the trees and like hilly, a little bit more difficult to ride than like a normal ring because of the higher height. But it's really good practice when you go to those even bigger shows like the Hamptons and all those, because sometimes those rings can be a little bit like crazy and
Scary.
like yeah.
Yeah.
Like I did show them in West London, but that was at 2.6, and that wasn't that big. And actually, I think this ring is probably better practice than what you can get at West. West might be bigger, the height, but because the ring here is just so the trees and stuff, here is probably better practice for like the Hamptons. If you're going to the ring where there's like the Derby ring, there is a little bit crazy. So this is really good practice for that, and like I'm not planning on doing that, but still, it'll help me if I ever like do that or something with my new horse. Just
Well, everything that you do, whether it's in this ring or wherever it is, everything you do adds more experience level to what you're doing. So it all goes into that memory bank,
Yeah.
and it's another learning curve that eventually you'll look back and say, it took all of these things to put me in the place I'm at.
Yeah.
Maggie, do you have specific goals that you want to achieve this week?
Well, I've had Amelia for a little bit longer than Phelan has had her horse Parker, but this is also my first like really big show at the 3 foot height. But I think just like, having smooth courses and just getting around and just really like having a plan and sticking with it and not changing my mind, I think has always been a little bit of a challenge. But I know we both have the Old Salem May show after this, so which is for me definitely a little bit scary and a little bit nerve-wracking. But I think if this goes well, I think I'll have a lot more confidence going into that show. So I think just getting around and having a good experience is my goal for this weekend.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you do to calm your nerves?
Come on,
I don't know,
television.
in general, I'm just like a pretty like, I'm not like a chill person because I'm not like I'm kind of
She's
crazy sometimes.
crazy.
Like, but like I'm just not. I don't get nervous that much, and it's nice. It depends on like what the time is. Sometimes it's nice to like talk to my friends. Other times it's nice just to sit there and like focus on the horse show and be like, all right, like I'm doing this, and like just get everything down so you're not as nervous about when you go in there and stuff does happen. But it's like I don't really get that nervous about it, because for me it's not something to be nervous about, because still overall it's not like it's the Olympics or something. Like that a little bit different, but even though if it is a big show, like it's just, I don't know, it's not the end of the world unless you don't die. Then you're good.
You girls look like you have a fan club.
You got a rooting section out there now.
Yeah. Do you want to come in and introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
Go right behind
the
camera, man, and come on in. Join the party.
I believe
It's
joining the party.
the before party.
Yeah. All right, now we have a trio to sing.
We do.
Hi. I'm Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Sit down next to her and kind of lean toward her microphone a little bit.
Move up back.
No, let's lean toward her mic. Yeah.
Oh.
Believe.
Or you can
Hi.
you can unclip it and share it.
Yeah. Here, yes. I can move this one over.
So Emily, tell us about you, your horse, and what you're doing here.
My horse's name is Cinema, and I'm showing in the Junior Hunters here. And it's my first show back from Florida. I'm excited.
Emily actually owns the horse I lease, so
Amelia.
yeah.
Amelia, are you showing Amelia or a different horse in the Junior Hunters?
Cinema. A different horse.
Cinema.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had cinema in Wellington, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Wellington.
So the
We were in
weather was
Wellington.
better there, was it not?
Yes, it was very nice.
And how was your Wellington season?
It was good. It was an experience.
You did really well.
Up and downs, but very competitive down there.
Have you shown at Saratoga before?
No, it's my first time.
First time.
Yeah.
What do you think of the trees in the ring?
It might be interesting. We're thinking if they would incorporate them into the handy hunter round.
Have you competed so far, Emily, this week?
No,
Today's the
I got
first
here
day?
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. How have the warm-ups gone?
It was good. Cinema had like a week off last week, so it was his first time jumping yesterday. He was a little hyper.
In other words, we're starting all over, right?
Yeah.
So are you competing? Did you say you were competing today? Joanne?
Yes, in the Junior Hunters.
Junior Hunter.
Any particular goals for today that you'd like to accomplish?
To do well, hopefully.
Any challenges that you foresee?
I don't think any challenges. Maybe just getting him adjusted to this show. It was a little spooky today.
Yeah.
So
What is his background?
we bought him yesterday. No, bought him.
So you haven't had a lot of time with this horse, right?
We bought him last year, and this is his
That's a
first
big
year in the Junior Hunters. He was like a 4-foot performance hunter, like second year green horse when we bought him. And I'm not sure what his history is before that. I don't know.
So
I think-
did
he
you
like
pick him out? Did you find him? How did
yeah,
you-
we found him in Florida.
Yeah.
He's for sale.
Already?
The rooting section is still working out here, right?
Cinema. When I
And
go
she
to
goes to
college in
college,
September,
okay, yeah.
he'll be for sale. He's a very nice horse.
Aw.
Very trustworthy.
Not bringing him to college?
No.
Is that mom and dad we need to talk to?
So when's college? How far out is this?
I leave in August or September.
Oh, this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
so
Probably
so it
really
is
sad.
this year. Okay, that's you know. So he's for sale.
Yeah,
As long
we're
as
trying
you
to
can
market
use
him
through
now.
The show season. Then you go. Where are you going to college?
Villanova
Villanova.
or BC maybe. Probably Villanova.
Probably Villanova.
Yeah.
Wait, did you get into VC yet? Or
No.
So is Cinema a prospective lease for Maggie or Fallon?
Well, Phelan just got a horse.
And my horse, Parker, like Palladium, he does the 3-6, so I don't need him to move up on. He's
Isn't two better than one? Girls, come on.
They're like potato chips. You can't have just one.
that is
Maggie could follow my track and get Amelia and then get Cinema.
follow the leader.
So Emily, how did you get into horses?
I don't know. I think one of my friends started riding, and I thought that was cool, so I followed her to a barn called Silvermine Farm. And then I switched to Starbuck Equestrian, and then they got me into like the showing.
How
part of
old
it.
were you when you started riding?
When I started riding, 4th grade, maybe. I started showing in 8th grade.
Do you get nervous when you show?
Yeah, it depends. Like at Florida, I got nervous, but I'm not really nervous here. It's like a
Well, Florida,
Nice
you're like
vibe.
Troy Colvin in your division.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
In
crazy.
Florida, you can get lost just finding the right ring. There are
Yeah.
so many
And I was,
arenas
like,
there.
I was in like the
It's
pony
huge.
rings. And my barn was like near the jumper rings. And I like had that walk, and I was like, oh, great.
That's good.
First day I was down there, I got lost. I don't know where I was going. I like
There
went
are
into
a
like the
lot
wrong
of
ring.
arenas going down there, yeah.
yeah.
There's a 12, 11,
Yeah.
13.
12.
12. Yeah, like no, but then there's like the one next door, and then there's like the other ring. I give up.
I know I was counting them up and I ran out of fingers. But
So
there's
many.
a lot of them down there.
Well, girls, we really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Emily, Maggie, and Fallon, we wish you every success, and I hope that when you're done with the day's showing, you'll come back by with your ribbons and talk with us again.
Yeah,
Let
do
us
that.
know, let us know how you
Size.
did, what challenges you faced on course, and how it went.
Okay.
Come back in our 4 to 6
Yeah.
segment. We're on 4 to 6.
And noon
Tell
to
us how
2
you did.
Also.
And you can, we're on noon
Yeah,
also.
Noon to 2 and
Noon to
4
2
to
and
6.
then 4 to
so.
6. But come back, bring your ribbons, and tell all your friends that they can watch you on that segment you come
I
back.
like at 12 to 2 though. We might be soaking wet. Just it's supposed to
Okay.
rain.
Come back 4 to 6.
4 to
Yeah.
6.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah, from like 12 to like
What are
2
you,
to
it's supposed to rain again?
Apparently, yeah, this
No.
morning.
Well, it's
Nah.
always dry in the media tent.
That's a good point.
Come in here, get out of the rain, tell us how you did.
Yeah,
Okay,
it'll be
it'll
fun.
be great.
All right, wave goodbye. Say bye.
Everybody say, have a safe ride. Thank you, ladies, very much.
Safe ride. We look forward to the results.
Got it? All right.
It's a webcast that's on the Saratoga Springs Horse Show site. Okay. So it's being archived, and we'll have more information as we move forward.
Where you
with
can
it, but-
find the archive, we're not positive yet, but you can watch it live on the website. So if they come back 4 to 6, as we're telling them, you come back 4 to 6, you can go on and watch it live while they're
Yeah,
on.
if they have friends at home, give
Yeah.
them the Saratoga Springs. Any friends at home? Saratoga-
Grandparents, anything.
Yeah.
Get a- yeah.
Saratoga Springs
Great.
Horse Show.
Bring
Good
them
luck,
back
girls.
4 to 6.
Good
Thank
luck.
you. Okay. Hey, it is the Saratoga Springs Horse Show. It is for charity. We want you to remember that. And everything goes, all the proceeds go to the Capital Fund of Saratoga. And it does help many, many charities in the area, from domestic violence and rape crisis service of Saratoga to shelters of Saratoga, soup kitchens, 18 different county food pantries all get benefit from this.
Very, very impressive.
Call and donate. You see a number scrolling, 518-306-5121, or you can text a very secure donation to Saratoga 50155 for a very secure donation as well. And also, we do have a kiosk, and the kiosk is in our exhibitor tent right here beside our broadcast tent, and you can go in there, use the kiosk, make a very secure donation. Donate and help. We really appreciate it. Okay, we had a lot of results from the late classes yesterday that we haven't given you. So our late class reporter,
Yes,
Susan.
well, actually, we've got some late classes and some championships and reserves
Great.
to report on. So the Performance Hunter division, that was run at 3 foot 3 inches. The champion is Cinderella Man with Leslie Miller in the irons. The owner is GDF Equine. So congratulations to Cinderella Man, Leslie, and GDF. The reserve champion is East Side, owned by Silvermine Farm, with Fifi Schmidt in the irons. So congratulations to Fifi and Silvermine for the reserve championship with East Side. Performance Hunter, 3 foot 6 inches. The champion is Huckleberry Finn, owned by Susan Hewitt and ridden by Sarah Tyndall. The reserve champion is Friend Request. Ooh, Friend Request. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. Friend Request, owned by Candace Wrigley and ridden by Hillary Reinheimer. That is the reserve champion in the Performance Hunter 3'6". The Green Working High Performance Hunter. These are green horses in their first year or two of showing. The champion tricolor, once again, Cinderella Man. Congratulations to GDF and Leslie Miller in the irons. And the reserve champion, Chocolata, owned by Beth Ford and ridden by Kirsten Malakarn, the reserve champion for the Green Working High Performance Hunter. Green Confirmation Hunter, judged on beauty, fluidity, athleticism, as well as physique and conformation. The champion, Zofia Kaur, owned by Christy Smith and also ridden by Christy Smith. So congratulations, Christy, job well done. And the reserve champion is Ranger, owned by Brook Run Farm and ridden by Robert Lee, the reserve champion in the Green Confirmation Hunter division. The pre-green hunter, the champion is Sienna, owned by Ralph and Holly Caristo and ridden by Fifi Schmidt. The reserve championship goes to Danitra, owned by Caroline Connell and ridden by David Wilbur. So congratulations to both taking home top championship and reserve championship honors in the pre-green hunter division. The low hunter was also earned by Sienna, the champion, Ralph and Holly Caristo, Fifi Schmidt in the irons, and the reserve champion low hunter, Silvio Song, owned by Sarah O'Connell and ridden by David Wilbur. Open hunter at 2'6", the champion Flamenco 135, owned by Amy Hearn and ridden by Thomas Hearn. The reserve champion Lanos, owned by Beatrice Fritchie and ridden by Anna Pavlov. That is the open hunter at 2'6". Congratulations to both. And the modified children's adult hunter at 2'6", the champion is Milton. Milton is owned and ridden by Lucia Wing. The reserve champion Spartacus, owned by Buffalo Therapeutic Riding Center and ridden by Anna Schriefer. Congratulations to both. The schooling hunter champion Boston, owned by Maeve O'Donovan and ridden by Sarah Barge. The reserve championship to No Doubt, owned by Ralph and Holly Caristo and ridden by Fifi Schmidt. The Baby Green Hunter, we have lots to report on. Baby Green Hunter champion, No Doubt, Ralph and Holly Caristo again, Fifi Schmidt in the irons, and the reserve championship to Carbon Copy 2, owned and ridden by Miss Jennifer Duncan. And the Off the Track Thoroughbred Low Hunter, very appropriate being here at Saratoga Racecourse, goes to Top Honors, owned and ridden by Linda Orton, and the reserve championship to Ponte Vecchio, owned and ridden by Bernadette Keys. So those are some hunter championships and reserves that we have up to date. We do have a schooling jumper report as well. The schooling jumper champion is Cayenne, owned by Emily Wick and ridden by Hillary Reinheimer, and the reserve Limerick, owned by Simone Berg and ridden by Juliana Starbuck, the trainer of the three lovely girls we just had in the studio. It looks like a tie actually for the reserve championship. To say Maybelline shared the reserve championship with Limerick, and Say Maybelline is owned by Catherine Fish and ridden by Billy Worthington. The meter 15 jumper champion, Cayenne, owner Emily Wick and rider Hillary Reinheimer, and the reserve champion and meter 15 jumper, So Be It, owned and ridden by Timothy Hooker. Gosh, we have lots of honors that were given out the other day.
Don't we? Wow.
My goodness. Okay, the meter 20, the jumps get a little bit higher. The champion is Lady Macbeth, owned by Cadley Holdings with Julie Wells in the irons. And Julie Wells also shared the championship while riding Udento VDL for Missy Clark and North Run. The reserve champion to Contigo 2 with Juliana Starbucks in the irons, and another shared reserve championship with Cover Girl, owned by Nikki Lishman and ridden by Emmanuel Joffrey. So that brings you up to date on the championships and reserves given out so far at the Saratoga Springs Horse Show.
Wow.
Yes.
There's a lot going on today, too, and actually in the jumper ring later on today, we're going to be getting into like the Champagne Trophy and the Schmidt Trophy.
Yes.
Those classes will be going right behind us here.
They are, and the Bill Champagne Trophy, that's named in honor of a local gentleman I knew as a little girl. He had a shipping company. He was the original J.R. Hudson, so to speak, in the Capital District, and he used to bring all of us to the horse shows in his big 18-wheelers, and that's named in his honor. And the Schmidt Trophy is in honor of Marilyn Schmidt, who was a beloved veterinarian in this area and had 3 children she raised with all of us that used her services over the years. And sadly, Marilyn passed away a few years ago at a very early age. And one of my memories of Marilyn is actually at this very horse show when she was pregnant with her daughter Taryn, who's now 19 or 20, and Marilyn was hoof testing a horse while she was very, very pregnant. So that was quite a sight. And for anyone who knew Marilyn, she always had the face of a 25-year-old. She was a very youthful looking gal with long blonde hair, and a delight to all of us who knew her, and really wonderful progressive veterinarian, the first to do chiropractic in our area on hunters and jumpers. So she is sorely missed, and I can say for myself, I'm so happy that the Saratoga Horse Show has honored her with a memorial trophy.
Right. So there's a lot going on. Remember that obviously you're on the website watching, but you can select the other 3 rings. We have live webcasts of the jumper ring, which is behind us, but you can watch all that action. You can watch the Hunter Ring 1 or Hunter Ring 2 just by selecting it. All 3 are being live streamed independently. Pick which one you want to watch. Or obviously you can stay right here and watch us.
Absolutely.
We are on 2 hours in the morning, 8 to 10. Then we're on noon to 2. And then we're back at 4 to 6. And at each broadcast, we'll be bringing you updates on classes as they have been compiled, completed, and we can give you the winners and champions. And then also we'll have interviews with various people. You never know who's going to show up on the sketch. We never know who's going to show up on the sketch.
I've got one eye on the camera and one eye out here to try and catch competitors as they're walking by. It's a very challenging environment during the show day to get people to actually come in and sit down and speak, simply because of the scheduling.
We could quite possibly get Obama and Boehner together. Never mind, go right ahead.
The political jokes go right over my head. It really is not.
However, we just have a ball doing this. I'm enjoying this, and there are so many things to talk about, but it is a charity. Donate. You see the information scrolling on the screen, and help all of these various charities out by supporting this Saratoga Springs Horse Show and the Capital Fund of Saratoga. So it's all for a great, great cause.
It's for excellent cause. Horse Show helps a lot of people, and today is a very, very special day for competitors. Mostly the classes are comprised of amateur owner riders, local riders, and junior riders. So you see in Hunter Ring 2, there's maiden equitation, novice equitation, and those are classes that youngsters begin in. Many Olympians that you see started in maiden equitation, novice equitation, and what that is you have to be under 18 years of age, and how many classes you've won is the factor whether you can compete in a class. Maiden equitation are a group of riders that have never won a blue ribbon. So to win a blue ribbon in maiden equitation is the first blue ribbon that one of those competitors ever has won.
All right, tell us, Susan, down here I'm looking under At the end of Hunter Ring 1 today is the 2500 Saratoga, $2,500 Saratoga Hunter Classic. That's kind of going to cap off the afternoon. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, that's open to hunters that have competed in the show, juniors, amateurs, and professionals, and it will be the most stringent judging of the competition. Horses that enter that particular class, their owners and trainers really believe they are the best of the best hunters, so it'll be very competitive, challenging for the judges to determine winners or not. It's really just small, very small factors, you know, the athleticism of the horse, the fluidity, the rhythm, the movement, and I can tell you from watching at the sidelines, I'll see that class and I'll see 10 horses that look like they should place first. The riders are professionals and they really know their stuff.
Right.
They know their horses well enough to understand the nuances as a rider, what they need to do to really show their horse off best, whether it be the way that they position their leg, the way they just subtly shift their weight, the release that they give to allow that horse to arc over the jump with maximum athleticism. So it's really it's a tough class to judge.
You're back to what we talked about yesterday with a couple of guests. Those small, fine things, you know, cleaner tack, a little better grooming. You're back to, it's going to get right down to those little tiebreaker things.
It really is, and I can give the viewers at home some insights into what the judge Frank Willard will be looking for. And Frank came all the way up here from Oak Ridge, North Carolina. And Frank runs Deep River Farm with his daughter Caroline, a very, very successful hunter barn in the Carolinas. So he knows what he's looking for. Frank, in a recent interview with Pamela Rush of Plaid Horse, shared what he looks for in a hunter round. And among those things are, you know, softness, athleticism, athletic form, fluid movement, and he has a few pet peeves. So if you're competing or know someone competing, you can share these. Number one, don't go too slow. Make sure your horse has some impulsion, has some energy, so that even in the hunter class, you don't want to be at a snail's pace. You want to have some rhythm and some cadence so your horse can deliver his or her best jump. Another part, this is rider specific, give a crest release. Don't be choking your horse back. Give that release, let your horse show himself off.
Alrighty.
And third, and very important, is turnout. This can be the deciding factor. If there's 2 or 3 flawless rounds, one has a little mud on their boot, one has some loose, messy braids, the horse with the best turnout is going to be the turnout's going to be the deciding factor. So there's some insights into what Frank Willard is looking for. We have a guest.
Yes, we do.
In the studio.
And our guest is now coming on camera. Don't get nervous. Introduce yourself first.
Hi, I'm Anna Straczynski. I'm a rider here at Saratoga Springs Horse Show, and I'm a junior rider.
So, are you competing today?
Of course. In some jumper classes. It seems like a great show, and I have a great turnout and venue today.
Have you been to Saratoga before? Have you shown here before?
This is my first time, so the venue is great. So far, it's been very great.
Where do you come from, Anna?
Rhode Island. That's where we're coming from.
And your stable trainer?
Yes, Kristen Newton is my trainer today.
And
So-
tell us about your horse.
Well, we have 2 today. My first horse is Spencer, and he's a jumper. So today we're going to do some low jumpers with him. My second one is Brazil, and he's also a children's jumper, and we're going to have a great day, I think.
Do you compete in the Marshall and Sterling classes?
Yes, I do.
You do. Is that something you've been competing in for a few years?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Marshall and Sterling from a competitor's viewpoint.
Well, it's a really great division because they kind of model it off of like the World Cup. So you get to bring your horses if you qualify to Marshall and Sterling for a few days and compete through the whole circuit. So it's exciting.
Have you been in the ring yet to show?
Not yet. This is my first day. I just got here.
Oh, you just got here.
Yeah, literally, I just got here.
So
Oh
you
my
haven't warmed up
goodness.
or anything
No.
yet? No.
Wow.
So
What are some of your goals for today?
today I want smooth rounds, and hopefully we can get a good start and set up well for Sunday's classic round for the Marshall and Sterling.
Have you been paired with Spencer and Brazil for
I
a
have.
while now?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your history with each.
Well, they're both fairly new, but our history. This is my first horse show with Spencer, and he has a very good history in this class that we're competing against. And then Brazil, I've had for a little bit longer, and we've shown in Ocala, so he's a great horse too. So I've had him for a little longer.
How did you get started riding?
I started riding very young when I was about 6. I think that's everyone's story. You know, the little girl with the Breyer horses. Right?
Absolutely. Got to have the Breyer horse.
Oh yeah, you have to have a whole collection.
Did you have a favorite Breyer horse growing up?
I don't know. I like them all pretty much. I think I don't have a favorite. They're all perfect.
All right, I'll have to ask you a question. Have you ever been to Breyer Fest?
I haven't actually.
If you love Breyer horses, that's put that on your bucket list. That's a must-do.
Okay.
It's at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington in July every year, and it's a huge. Every model you ever wanted, the collectors, and they have every year they have a celebration horse and guest horses that they make models of, and then they bring the real horses in. You get to watch them perform, meet them, and then get the models. And
Wow.
many of those models of those guest horses are only available there, so that makes them very collectible. So if you're, I know this is riding and this is the real thing, but if you like Breyer horses, you ought to
Yeah.
check out Breyer Fest at some point.
Okay. I will do that. That sounds like a great
That's just-
day.
That's
a
just
great
a
event.
fun time. It's
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It's just
of
fun.
course, everyone needs fun.
Anna, you said you were a junior. How old are you?
I'm 17, so this is my last junior year.
Were you a competitive child, or did you get into the horses just for the love and the fun of it initially?
Initially, I think it was definitely the love of the sport, the horses. But growing up, you go through the junior ranks, so I was competitive when I was younger. So it's a little bit of a balance of both.
What have been some of your most memorable moments so far?
There's so many, I think. A highlight of my junior career, I think, would be my first time at Lake Placid. That was a great horse show in New York, and it was one of my first biggest horse shows, so that's one of my favorites.
Will you be showing at Lake Placid this summer?
I'm not sure. Probably.
Well, if this is your last, now are you going to be a senior, or you are a senior?
I'm going to be a senior.
Okay, so you have one more year in high school, so you have one more year to show before you think about college, right?
Yes, college riding.
Any idea where you're going to college?
I'm not sure yet. I know we've looked at a bunch in New York, actually, so
Are you thinking with an equestrian program?
possibly. Most likely.
Most likely. See, it kind of sneaks out, right? Yeah, possibly, most likely, yeah.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. Right. So, with Saratoga, with being here, with riding the 2 horses and the levels you're at, I would say an equestrian program would work well for you, because you really seem to be moving along in the right direction. So.
Yeah.
And you're having fun, right?
Of course, that's what it's all about.
How do you envision your future with horses?
I think I'm always going to be riding, honestly. My future is to go up in the ranks, get better with them every day. So we're always working to be the best we can. I think.
Well, Anna, we wish you every success today with Spencer and
Thank
Brazil. And we'll be rooting for you. If you have a chance to stop back after your round, we would love to talk with
thank
you
you.
and hear about your experience
Right.
in the ring and
Awesome.
what it was like from your horse's back.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having this interview with me. It was just so much fun.
You're very welcome.
It is, and if you do this afternoon, we're on at 4 to 6.
Great.
And if you're done by then, come in and tell us about your round. We'll put you back
Mm-hmm.
on the couch. You can describe every aspect of your
yes.
run.
And
Yeah.
12
Yes.
to 2 we're on also. if you're
12
a
to
little
2,
earlier.
depending on when you're done.
I will give a detailed
Oh, that would be awesome.
course jump to jump.
And see, when you do
Run
that,
down.
then you can call all your friends, you can call all the family that's not here, and say, go to the internet and watch me live.
It's on live.
It's on live.
Great.
Streaming live. SaratogaSpringsHorseShow.com.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and you can watch it live. Yeah, for free.
Even better.
Even better, right? Great. Great. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you, Anna. Good
Alrighty.
luck.
Bye.
Good luck. Bye bye.
Just take that from you.
I see Tom Fuston out there with a handful of trophies, which
Uh-oh.
he should be bringing in here to show
Bring-
on
we're gonna-
camera.
All right, let's bring these trophies
Yes.
in. Right? Hey,
Yes.
while we're getting those in, don't forget it is the Saratoga Springs Horse Show. It is for charity. It supports the Capital Fund of Saratoga. Actually, they run the show, and all the proceeds go to the various charities, from St. Clement's Grade School to soup kitchens to 18 different food pantries in Saratoga, to all of these things. So, you know, your donations are greatly appreciated. So, you know, you can either text to Saratoga at 50155 to donate, a very secure donation. A donation phone line is scrolling also on the screen, 518-306-5121. And you can call and make a secure donation that way. Or we have a kiosk that you can go inside and do a secure donation if you are here on the grounds. We look
Yes,
forward
and
to that.
hopefully Tom Fuston will be in here momentarily to show off some of the beautiful trophies. I would imagine that's the Champagne Trophy and the Schmidt Trophy. And Wayne's going to chat with him a little bit about the history of those beautiful, beautiful memorial items and how the Capital Fund plays into that.
And Tom's coming in here. Tom is the current president of the Capital Fund
Yes.
of Saratoga. Get you clipped on there, Tom.
What I do is I'll get myself again.
Yeah, you
We
you
need
got
the
your
history
beard.
on the beard
Yeah.
when we have a few minutes because that's
Yesterday
really
he had the beard
special.
clipped in, or 2 days ago he had the beard clipped in the microphone. I remember that very well.
Take it with me.
Hey, Tom, welcome back. It's Tom.
Thank you very much.
Tom Fuston, and Tom is obviously president of the Saratoga Fund, or the Capital Fund of Saratoga, and running this horse show, running the expo, and the other things that you do, all for the benefit of the Capital Fund and all these charities.
All the charities, yes, and the charities that are helping others in Saratoga County. That's what we're looking for. Those people who are out there on the front lines working with those who have needs just to exist in today's environment. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help them and trying to see what we can do to make their lives easier.
Well, as we've said, what happens is not only do you make their life easier for these people, but with the Saratoga, with the horse show, okay, you are helping to keep a 55-year tradition going very strong with the Saratoga Springs Horse Show. You are also helping the Capital Fund help all of these charities that we've been talking about, and you keep horses in Saratoga are synonymous.
That's correct.
So you help all of those things.
It's that health, horses, and happiness, whatever that is, the 3 H's for
The
the
three
Saratoga.
H's, right. Well, if it's 4-H, it's 4-H's, but
That's right.
it all still relates.
History is the other H.
History is the
History,
other.
right.
And you know, there's no place in the country that has any more history really with horses than right here, especially with the Saratoga Racecourse going back to what, 1863.
1863. Started just around the corner here.
The old
Behind
track
us.
still exists here.
It still
It's
exists
in
as
what
part
they
of
call Oklahoma, right?
No, actually on the Oklahoma side, it's called Horse Haven,
Horse Haven.
and it still exists here. It's a nice long oblong track. It's partly roadway now, but it's still
You
there.
can still see the track, and there are
Yep.
still some single board
Right, rails.
perimeters to it. So you can still very easily see
Right.
the entire old racetrack that they started racing on. And I think, wasn't it harness horses first?
There you'd gone beyond my history now, so I'm not sure.
All right, I'm gonna tell. Who was the gentleman that I interviewed about the history of Saratoga when I was out for the? He worked for the track area.
Bob Giordana.
Bob, that's
Right.
it. Bob and I did a nice interview for my Speaking of Horses TV show.
Right.
And Bob had a tremendous amount of history. Took me all around the course, showed me things about the grandstand and all around the track. Bob was tremendous as far as a historian of everything. He brought me over, told me about the track, and I think it was Bob that mentioned harness racing actually was first, but it doesn't matter. Horse racing on a circuit started in the United States basically right here.
Yeah, it's been a long, long history here, and like I said, last year was the 150th anniversary of that, and had a big year-long celebration, and we're kicking off the next 150 years here.
There you go. Tell us about what you brought here.
Actually, this year we've gone through and upgraded our trophies. This one here happens to be one we've put together. It's a memorial trophy. Let's get it out there.
Oh, that is beautiful. It's
That
tremendous.
recognizes one of our vets that we had here for a long term who had passed away a few years ago. The Marilyn Schmidt Award. It's a perpetual trophy, and
That is gorgeous.
the Marilyn Schmidt Trophy is given out to a certain class of our participants here as a recognition of the grand champions.
And I know we talked a little bit just a bit ago. Susan was discussing the history of the veterinarian that this is named for, and all of the things she did. And she talked about a recollection of her being very pregnant and still working on horses' hooves. And
She was very dedicated to her craft, and she actually did a lot of things up the forefront as far as the working with the equestrians and the horse shows and stuff. But she
Right.
basically raised her family up here and during the spring. But she was a very dedicated person, and we honored her with this memorial trophy every year. And this is a new replicated.
That's heavy too.
It's a heavy.
That is beautiful. The Marilyn Schmidt DVM Memorial Trophy. Saratoga Springs. That is absolutely gorgeous. And that, I'll tell you what, I thought maybe you could like pick that right up, but you can't. That is really beautifully done. It's quality. It's all the way through.
It's a very nice thing. In fact, all our trophies have been upgraded this year. We've gone through and replaced them with some newer versions of them, and they all have certain histories associated with the design. So you have to come out and stop and take a look at other trophies as well. And
And do you display these somewhere before you hand them out?
actually, I was on the way down to put them on the display table when you
So
snagged
where
me.
is that table, Tom?
It's down in the big tent. There's an awards area under their big tent here that they'll have all our awards laid out in, and you can look at those and some of the things, the prizes other people are
So
getting.
in this exhibitor tent, where there's also the gift shop with the Saratoga Springs Horse Show merchandise, and all the trophies are on display down there
Right.
as well.
We call our gift shop Things Saratoga. So stop in and visit there. There are different things you can pick up as souvenirs.
There's some quality stuff in there too.
Some very nice stuff in there. Very nice stuff.
As a matter of fact, one of your jackets was very helpful the last couple of
Yeah,
days.
so
I
keep-
really appreciate it.
Warms you right up. I know. Keep you
we
warm.
needed it, but it's much better today, so we're doing well. So I know you've been busy weeks ahead getting set for this, and now we're off and running, and all three rings are going, and the show is clicking well. The weather is definitely in favor.
Improving. It's a beautiful day today.
Well, yeah,
Beautiful day.
this is now May 2nd, so by the time this finishes on the 10th or 11th, I think you're going to see some dramatic changes in that weather. You're right at that point where it's really going to start rolling over into more of a summer feel, or of a true spring feel, because winter has hung on a long time this year.
Winter's been a long, long time. Like I said, I've been here beginning of the month, actually last month, and then we had 6 inches of snow and ice back here.
I talked to you one time on the phone scheduling coming in here for this, and you were saying that you didn't know what you were going to do because you were still trying to get snow out of the rings.
That's correct. In fact, after we got it cleaned up, then it snowed again. So it's upstate New York.
I understand. Well, Tom, we really thank you for all of your efforts in doing this. I've been pleased and very happy to be over here last fall for the expo and now for this, and really happy to be a part of what you're doing here.
Well, it's also great to have you guys both here and helping us out in the telethon, and being the face of Saratoga Horse Show for a couple weeks here as people go and learn more about the show and
It's my honor to be
understand
doing
what we're trying to do. So
Such a privilege. It's
Yes.
really a joy
Yes.
to share everything that you do.
this. Yeah.
we're glad to have you, of course.
Well, we're happy to be here, and if we can assist you by doing this, then it all accomplishes what the goal is. Right?
Just keep the weather coming nice.
You got it. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, don't
Thank you,
forget your
Tom.
microphone.
Again.
We're going to see if you're in the beard. No, you're. Oh, look at that.
Oh my goodness,
all right.
what an expression.
That is beautiful. Oh, thank you. Well, what a trophy.
Beautiful, beautiful
That-
trophy.
and,
Any that need to be displayed, we have a nice area
That is
right
heavier
here.
than if it actually was full of beer.
Okay, no talk about
No
the
talk
hall.
about
We
that,
have
all right.
three beautiful young ladies.
Come in, ladies.
the media tent.
Are they going to pass a microphone, Rod? Yes, they are. Okay, then we don't need to put the one. You're going to pass that one back and forth. All right, who is the lead talker? All right,
She's got the mic
each
in
of the
hand.
three of you take the microphone, introduce yourself, and say where you're from.
I'm Jennifer Stanoff, and I'm from Long Island, New York. I'm Valerie Stanoff, and I'm also from Long Island, New York. I'm Jessica Jackson, and I'm also from Long Island.
Oh, we have the three Long Island heroes here, right? Yeah.
Oh, we gotta do it again.
Do it.
we
Oh,
need
the
to
microphone
that,
was down.
That was just a test run.
Take
that was
two.
rehearsal.
Take two. Start again.
Yeah, sorry.
My name is Valerie Staniloff, and I'm from Long Island, New York. I'm Jennifer Staniloff, and I'm also from Long Island. My name is Jessica Chinsky, and I'm from Long Island, New York.
Is that Jessica on the end? Oh, good. I'm glad I heard that right. So Jessica, Jennifer, and Valerie.
Yes.
Okay. Are you two sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah. First time at Saratoga?
No, we were here last year.
So you're experienced.
Yes.
All right.
And
well,
the year before.
and
Oh,
the year
wow.
before. Oh my goodness. So
Wow.
what classes did you start in at Saratoga when you first came?
Well, last year. Oh, you go. Well, the first year, I just showed I did the small pony hunters, and the second year we came, I did large children's.
So you moved right up.
Yeah, and then this year I'm going to be doing the medium green pony hunters. Well, last year I did children's small mediums, and I was reserve champion. And then this year I'm competing in the medium pony hunters. Last year I did the children's small mediums, and this year I'm doing small medium pony hunters.
Do you all ride at the same stable?
Yes,
And what stable is that?
Island Hill Stable,
And who's your trainer?
Patty Messina.
Tell us about your horses. Or ponies. Sorry. Oops.
My medium green, his name is C.E. Providence, or Bentley. We just got him, I think maybe in October. And he didn't really do anything before we got him. He did like unrated shows, and he just come along nicely so far. And this is like his first like real big show.
How is
So-
he behaving?
He's been pretty good. I schooled in the ring over there, and he was really good. And I'm excited to see what he'll do next. Well, I own two ponies. I have my Chico baby, who's a really good boy. He's an all-around kind of guy. You can do anything on him. Hunters, jumpers, equitation, trails. He's really good with everything. And then my pony that I'm showing here today, tomorrow, and Sunday, her name is She Bore Dior. She's a really good girl, and we've been showing in the medium pony hunters this year. She's really good. She jumps really nice, and she's always there, and she's always like really good. I have a medium named Sunkist, and I got him a year and a half ago. And we started in short stirrup, and then last year I did children's small mediums, and I won zone 2. And this year we are starting medium pony hunters and pre-minis.
Do you girls have specific goals for today that you want to accomplish with your trips?
For today, I just want to, like, sometimes it takes a little bit for him to like settle down. So today I just want to get him relaxed. Well, this weekend I'm hoping to just have good trips and that the pony's good, and that's really all. I mean, winning would be nice, but just having a good ride and having fun is more important.
This weekend I'm looking to maybe get good trips and find a lot of my distances and make sure he's a good boy.
What is the biggest challenge that you face that you're working on right now for yourselves to improve your own riding?
The biggest thing I'm working on is to keep my leg in place, because it's like the way Bentley's like built, it's hard to like keep my leg and heel down, but I'm trying to work on it.
How is Bentley built? Round? Like real round? Or?
He's like flat. He's kind of like upright, almost. He's not like really upright, but he's not like one of those hunters who just is like straight down. He's more of an upright kind of pony.
So your balance or your center of riding is off a bit, and that one leg is, it's
Yeah.
harder to keep it back in position, right?
Like my other pony I forgot to mention, my small straight A's, she's a lot like rounder and like more down kind of, so it's kind of hard to go like back and forth.
Well, I also need to work on my leg position because my pony, she kind of jumps you out of the tack a little bit, so it's kind of hard to like have good position because she uses her neck a lot.
Well, that's usually a really good thing.
Yeah, it
Athletic
is.
Pony.
Yeah, I mean, if she looks good, that matters more. So I'm just trying to like look good up there and keep my legs still and my heels down and my leg just staying the same instead of slipping back or forward.
I'm trying to keep my hands up because a lot of times I tend to drop them down and I don't even notice it.
I know exactly what you mean, Jessica. I can still hear my instructor from when I was 10 years old. Susan, raise your hands. Elevate your hands. And I don't know how they fell down and I didn't know it. And it just kept happening.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Are you trying to say you don't know where your hands are at all times?
I must have been thinking about something else. And you had said you were going to work on finding the right distance. What are some of the things you're going to do to find that distance? That's a challenge of so many riders.
Maybe try to like keep the pace around the ring instead of changing it.
Yeah, just get it lock into a rhythm and then let the horse jump
Yeah.
out of that. Yeah. Well, girls, we really, really appreciate your time. I hope that you will come back after your rounds if you have time and tell us how you did and how it felt from your perspective in the ring.
What time do you show today, do you know?
Well, we're just doing warm-up classes, really.
Oh, you're just doing
yeah.
warm-ups? Okay.
Our actual like division goes tomorrow and it goes Sunday.
Right.
Well, after you do your classes, either Saturday or Sunday,
Yeah.
we're on 8 to 10, then 12 to 2, and then 4 to 6 live
Okay.
here. Come back, in the afternoon or evening on Saturday or Sunday. Describe your rounds to us. You can also call family, friends, and everybody and tell them they can watch live on the internet.
They can watch
They
live
can
at
watch
the-
you live when you come
Yeah.
back and recap.
Yeah.
For
For
free.
free.
All they
For
do is go to
free.
SaratogaSpringsHorseShow.com and you can click live to watch the interviews. Free. And you can be a star in all those households.
Yeah. So our guests are Jessica, Valerie, and Jennifer, and we look forward to you coming back to visit us again.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, ladies. Good
Wave
luck.
goodbye to everybody.
Have good warm-ups today and
Wave.
good classes tomorrow and Sunday. Thank you. And all the rooting section, thank you.
Yay.
Oh, it is. What better way to do that than have all those young ladies
Oh,
talking
it's the
about
most,
their horses
you
and
know,
everything. Right. And we've got them here from, well, now we've seen Rhode Island, from Long Island, we've got Connecticut, obviously New York, but they come from all over the area.
Yeah, really all over the Northeast. I mean, this
Right.
particular show opens the show season
In
for
this region.
This region.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is the Saratoga Springs Horse Show. It is for the benefit of charity, run by the Capital Fund of Saratoga. And we just talked to Tom just a little bit ago, Tom Hewson, who's the president of that. But you can make your donations. It is for charity, and make very secure donations to the show and help the various charities from soup kitchens to food pantries, Salvation Army, violence, rape, crisis centers, all in the Saratoga area. We're going to run all these down in a bit, but you can do secure. If you see scrolling across your screen right here, you will see a way to text. You can text Saratoga and then that's to 50155. Make a very secure donation. Or you can call the phone number that you see there, which is 518-306-5121. We have many people manning telephones, and you can make a secure donation that way. Or you can come to the show, come to the tent where they have it's our exhibitor tent. It's also where the trophies are housed. You can view.
Yes.
It's where the souvenir shop is. There's a kiosk. We've gone totally high tech here. Go to the kiosk and make your donation. It all supports a good cause. Thank you. What do you got there?
Wayne, I've got some results to read from the jumper ring yesterday. Schooling jumper, well, we read the championships earlier, and these are the higher fences, starting with class 317. Meter 15 jumper, won by Cayenne, owned by Emily Wick and ridden by Hillary Reinheimer. Second to So Be It, owned and ridden by Timothy Hooker. And third to Redemption, Taylor Knapp, the owner and the rider. Class number 321, the meter 20 jumper, the winner, Lady Macbeth, owned by Cadley Holdings, Julie Wells in the irons. Second place to Cover Girl, owned by Nikki Lishman, ridden by Jeffrey Emanuel. And third to Sandra Z, owned by Abby Bartleson and ridden by Gregory Prince. The meter 30 jumper, that's where the fences start to get a little bit higher. Meter 30, class 323, won by Alice in Wonderland, owned by the David Trump Show Stables and ridden by David Trump. Second place to Castus HBC, owned by Cadley Holdings, ridden by Addison Gierkink. And third to Undercover, owned by Honorway Farm and ridden by Brianne Lewandowski. The Welcome Stake, that's a $7,500 class and the biggest class that's taken place to date, and that was yesterday right after the rainstorm. So not only was the height of the fences a challenge, but adjusting to a little bit of different footing in between on the track. So the winner of the Welcome Stake is Twan, owned by North Run and Missy Clark, ridden by Julie Wells. Second place to Dalubay du Rouet, owned by North Run Missy Clark, ridden by Julie Wells. And third to Ramses du Lavillon, owned by Missy Clark and McLean Ward, and ridden by Julie Wells. So Julie Wells, she competed on 4 horses in the class yesterday, the Welcome Stake, and finished 1, 2, 3. Fourth place to El Greco, owned by Brook Run Farm, ridden by Robert Lee. Robert was the only amateur competing in the class yesterday. Fourth place to Apollo, Tim Hooker, owned and rode Apollo. Tim happened to be the oldest fellow competing in the class yesterday. And Julie Wells took 6th place with Bazooka de Muse, North Run and Missy Clark, the owner, Julie Wells in the irons. 7th place to Classic Care, ridden by Kayla Langmeyer, the youngest competitor in the class at the tender age of 13. Classic Care is owned by her mom, Linda Langmeyer. And 8th place to Leander, owned by Honorway Farm and ridden by Leanne Kelly. Leanne Kelly has been a very successful local rider for many years. And I just want to talk a little bit about Julie Wells, because she's a very, very impressive young lady. She's just 25, and we've discussed with different guests in the studio how horse sports and horse show events are one of the few places where whatever level you're at, you can usually find a superstar, an Olympic star, an international Grand Prix rider in the schooling area, in the ring,
Right.
that you can watch, learn from, and literally get a tutorial.
Yeah. It's an amazing concept, because in no other sport, we've talked about this, can you get the brand new amateur just getting started in the ring, warming up right next to the Olympian, and there's so much knowledge there to be had, and it's right at your fingertips.
Well, and today especially, I mean, there's so many young riders here. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the days for young riders. to sit down and watch or stand by the ring and watch Julie Wells is a clinic you do not want to miss. Julie is one of the most accomplished juniors in this country. She took home multiple medal finals under the tutelage of Missy Clark. She absolutely stellar career before she turned professional, just when she turned 18 in 2007. Julie is now Missy's assistant at North Run, so that speaks volumes as to her abilities, because Missy has turned out more equitation champions and international and national Grand Prix riders than any other modern day trainer. And Julie Wells herself spent 4 years since 2007 crossing the Atlantic to ride in England with Olympian Laura Kraut. So she is really a well-rounded equestrian, having competed in the US, England, and Canada. And I predict she will be our next future Olympian. She's a bright, bright star on the circuit, and really what a joy to have her here at Saratoga, and a privilege to see her compete. And the girls that were just here talking about, keeping position with their leg, well, watch Julie.
Well, question, and I don't know the answer to this, that's why I'm asking, but do we have any of the people here who very well may be going over and competing in the World Equestrian Games in September in Normandy, France?
I would say Julie is probably among the group that would be contenders.
Because that's the next Olympic type event coming up. That'll be in Normandy, France, around Labor Day through mid-September, the World Equestrian Games.
Yeah,
So
it's a qualifying system, so she certainly
Should
has
be
the
in
horsepower and the ability
Right.
to qualify, and I know that I'd certainly be proud if she was representing America, because she is everything good about what needs to be on a horse and horsemanship, and a model career for young riders to exemplify. So?
Why are we here?
Why are we here?
We're
We
here
are
to talk about this fabulous, fabulous horse show. There's also a few things going on in addition to the competition rings on the showgrounds. Every day, breakfast, lunch, snacks are available. Yesterday we had the chef in here along with Marcia, who was the cold chef, so hot and cold items, signature.
It just struck me funny. We had the cold chef here.
The hot chef and the cold chef.
Everybody was cold yesterday.
They were. They were. So hot and cold chef.
No, I've done it. I've destroyed her. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, my daughter, I'm going to segue a little bit because it's appropriate. My daughter has made a lot of dollars waitressing over the years through college and growing up. And often I asked her, what do you do when you get a customer that you start laughing or something strikes you funny,
Right.
in the middle of the order? And she says, I just pretend that I'm sticking a fork in my thigh. So as you're getting me going here, I'm pretending I'm sticking a fork in my thigh.
Your thigh or my thigh? Are you stabbing me or what?
Not to start laughing.
Okay,
so,
I will be very good.
So for spectators, in addition to the 3 competition rings, which really run at full blast all weekend, there's a number of classes. There's breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks that are available daily on the premises. Horsetown vendors, that's a really fun segment offering equine apparel, horse care products, show photography, in addition to the actual competitors having their pictures taken. There's a lot of great candidates, and I have asked the photographers and they have a chance to come over and sit down, but as you can imagine, they've been going non-stop trying to catch everybody's pictures. And there's some really, really cool signature apparel. It has the Saratoga Springs Horse Show logo embroidered into it. And the apparel area is located in Things Saratoga, which is in a section of the main tent. So if you get a chance to come through the center of the showgrounds into the main tent, there's yoga pants, there's hoodies, there's microfibers, t-shirts, probably one of the nicest, most stylish selections of logoed apparel
Absolutely.
that I've seen anywhere. This week 1 runs through Sunday, May 4th, and next week, Wednesday to Sunday, which is May 7th through the 11th. Admission is $4 for adults. Children under 12 are free. Tickets can be purchased at the entrance gate on Union Avenue, and parking is included in the admission fee. So.
And $4 is very reasonable for a great day with horses.
Oh, and given the amount of proceeds that wind up going back to the community, it's really a donation to your own town. And this weekend, we're expecting Congressman Paul Tonko on the grounds. He is a big supporter of the Saratoga Horse Show and an animal lover that I'm aware of from my other animal activities. Saturday, tomorrow, is the $25,000 David B. Wood Jumper Cup, so that will be the highlight of all the events as far as the toughest competition and the most advanced horses and riders competing with one another. And a little bit of trivia. In the past, we've had some celebrities here.
We hit on one yesterday.
No, I'm going to hide it.
I
Do you
know, go
remember?
ahead.
Do you remember?
I'm not going to
It's
steal your
it's
thunder.
trivia. I'm
Well, the
asking
one
what
yesterday
celebrity-
was Linda Blair. We hit
from
from Exorcist.
The Exorcist, and as Maureen LaBelle was here and spoke with us, and as she recalled, Linda's horse was named The Exorcist, which a little bit creepy. Another celebrity that I read about that was here at the time that the show was being held inside the Oklahoma training track, so that was probably back in the late 60s and early 70s, was in fact Doc Severinsen of The Tonight Show. And Doc's daughter, I remember, was a rider for many years because I had some business with another horse person, and Doc's daughter rode with that particular trainer.
Would be interesting to
So-
find out the name of that horse.
Yeah, probably something like Big Band or
Treble or something,
something to that effect.
Right.
Something to that effect.
Always liked Doc Severinsen.
Oh,
He still performs.
He does, and I know he's owned racehorses over the years in California. He's been part of the racing scene out there.
There's a bit of trivia. He comes back to my area in southeast Wisconsin probably once a year because he gets his trumpets from Getson. And Getson, manufacturer of musical instruments, is just about 15 miles from where I live in the town of Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Wow.
And he has his trumpet specially made by
How
Getson,
fascinating.
and he comes back there.
Who would have thought?
You never
in
know.
Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
You never know, do you? See?
You know, I think there'd be a L.A., New York City connection only with such musical
At one time, there were two
instruments.
musical instrument companies in Elkhorn, Holton and Getson. Holton is no longer in existence, but Getson is still making mainly brass instruments right there in the beautiful downtown Elkhorn.
Well, when we come back at noontime, we should have some results from the maiden, novice, and limit equitation, which will be so much fun to read because those are very young riders. The winner of the maiden class, it will be the first blue ribbon at an A-rated show that youngster brings home. So
Wow.
a very, very exciting moment, and I will do all I can to put
Pull
the
them in
media
here,
tent hook
right.
out and say, come on in
Come
and
in,
talk
come
to
in,
us.
yeah.
So we're starting to get a little bit more foot traffic as the
Yeah.
weather clears up.
You know,
And,
we're going to tell you again that it is a show for in the support of charities and everything in Saratoga. Right now, with the Capital Fund running this, I'm going to list all of the charities, and you're going to get
you
me
got
laughing.
me giggling again.
I know.
Giggling.
You're going to
You
get
do
me
it.
laughing, I know. That do benefit from the Saratoga Springs Horse Show. Domestic Violence and Rape Crisis Service, Shelters of Saratoga, Cornell Cooperative Extension, 4-H Youth Development, Backstretch Employee Service Team, Saratoga Springs EOC Soup Kitchen, St. Clement's Grade School. I've got you laughing, haven't I? I don't know which statement was it? See, when these things happen on air,
live on air.
just keep the camera on me for a minute here.
Yeah,
We'll finish
as Susan
this.
falls off the stage.
Mary's Haven, Franklin Community Center, Gateway House of Peace, Saratoga. Really, these are.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Roger,
You got
what
it
are you
going
doing?
now. Go, no, we're fine. Also, the Captain's Youth and Family Services.
We'll go together.
Unlimited. Is there a guest out there somewhere, Roger? Do we have?
He's coming.
Okay.
He's supposed to be back.
Salvation Army and 18 different food pantries. Now listen, you can donate, and we do need your help. You can donate if you see. Don't do this to me, Susan.
Donate your time and come
Right.
sit on the couch.
Come sit
so
on
we
the
can
couch. We
speak
need
to
somebody
you.
right here.
We need some sanity in the media tent.
Saratoga, text to Saratoga 50155 for a very secure donation. Or our phone number is scrolling. 518-306-5121, a very secure donation. Speaking to our phone operator, or, hey, we have a guest coming. Or we have a kiosk in the tent here. So all your donations help. Come right over here. If you do real well, we have a job for you.
Yeah.
Here, lean over. And there you go. Now, scoot over close. Okay, we're not going to bite or anything like that. What's your name?
Tessa Brown.
Tessa?
Brown, yes.
Tessa Brown. Very nice. How old are you?
10.
10. Is this your first time at Saratoga?
No, my second.
Your second. You're an experienced
Wow.
pro at 10, right? So, tell us about your horse.
Well, she's at first when she came to my barn, she didn't really like me that much, but because she wasn't that used to me. But then after a while, I gave her treats and I brushed her a lot, and we got to know each other. And now she really likes me, and we actually were champion twice. But I went to one horse show, and then she was really good, and then the other one didn't really count because I was already qualified for everything, but she was really good for me. So
What's her name?
Lands and Lady Slipper.
Wow. Does she have a stable name?
Lady.
Lady is her nickname. What color is she?
She's gray.
Oh, nice. Is she like a dark gray or a whitish gray?
Whitish.
Yeah. How long have you been riding Lady?
I actually recently just got her.
Oh, she's new.
Yes.
Wow. Is this your first show with Lady?
No, well, my first big,
First big one with Lady?
my second big one actually.
Wow. What was your first big one?
I was in Florida at WEF.
Oh, wow. That's really, really
So
big.
you've been riding at Wellington, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I bet you had fun there.
Yes, a lot of fun.
How old are you?
10.
10. Wow. What a treat to do all that riding at age 10.
Yes.
By 12, there won't be any place left to go, will there? So, go ahead.
Oh, what are some of your favorite things about Lady, riding Lady?
She just goes with the flow. She'll jump anything with me, and she's just really good, and she has a good personality.
Yeah.
Like she's always up and going, and like just loves to be going.
What were some of the things that you did to make friends with Lady?
I always said good job when she did something really good for me when I was riding. I gave her lots of pats and treats. And then she was girthy for a little while, but then she just stopped, and because I think that she started to like me, and now she nickers when I come to the door and everything.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
Yes.
You love it. When you walk in the barn, all you do is say their name, and they just call out to you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you competed yet today, or it's coming up?
No, I'm coming. I'm doing the division this weekend, and then I'm doing like a little hunter class today. The modified.
Hunter class today. Which one is that? Do you know?
The modified hunters 2-3.
Modified 2-3. So you're going to be on late in Hunter Ring 1.
Yes.
If you don't, we're on from 4 to 6. If we are done by the time you're done, come back tomorrow morning, if
Okay.
you can, and give us all the results of your ride. You can describe your ride to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even later today if
Or
you get done before
if you get done
we
before
end.
we're
Yeah.
done, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'd love to hear about it.
We'd love you to tell us everything about your round.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, we're on live on the internet, so you could tell all your friends to watch you live on TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or if you've got a family somewhere that can't be here, they can watch you on the internet,
All right.
and we'll make you a star when you come back.
How did you get started with horses?
I actually don't really remember. I think we were just looking for a sport for me to do because I tried out soccer and I liked it, but I wasn't really into it. And I just had a good connection with my dog. So my mom's like, why don't we just try horseback riding? So I went, and then I loved my first lesson, and then just went on from there.
Was your mom involved with horses?
She did it when she was little, but she didn't like go to horse shows and everything. But she rode a little bit at my first farm, but she doesn't ride anymore.
Does she like being a horse show mom?
I think so.
Do you like being a horse show mom? I do like being. There you go. Well, there's the confirmation right there.
Absolutely.
Now, you know what's neat about what you said? When you said, you know, well, you were good with your dog, you had a good bond. So let's try horses. See, you can play soccer, you can play baseball, you can play any of those other sports, and none of those objects that you use in that sport respond to you. They're just inanimate objects.
Yes.
But when you've got a horse or a dog or whatever, you know, you said it when you said, I've got it now. When I walk in the barn, I say the name, the horse nickers. They actually respond back to you. It's the one sport that the tool in that sport is really a living, breathing animal that can love you back. And
Yes.
that makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it?
Yes.
Do you give Lady treats?
Yes.
What's her favorite?
The stud muffins with mints in
The
them.
stud
Ooh,
muffins
Stud
with mint.
muffins. Lady.
Wow.
Sounds like a diva.
Yeah.
She is.
Wow.
I've never heard it. There are stud muffin treats?
Little hand treats, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be darned.
In fact, that would be a fun segment to do, some horse treats.
Do you have some stud muffin horse treats?
Um,
I don't want one. I'm just.
Wayne.
We can talk about them though. If you have, you know. horse
not
treats.
here,
Oh, that's okay.
but
Just thought if you. Well, that's fine. When you said it would be a great segment, it would.
That would be a fun
great
segment, all the
you know.
different horse treats. Or
Right.
what's your horse's favorite treat? Some like carrots, some
Yeah.
like peppermints.
she's a pig about grass. She loves grass.
Oh, how tall is she?
I don't know.
She's a horse or a pony?
A pony.
A pony.
Yes.
Big pony or?
A decent sized pony.
Yeah.
I'm just getting to fit her. I was really small on my other one.
Were you probably
Yeah.
medium or large then?
Yeah.
That's a very attractive helmet you have on too.
Well, at first I got this in Florida 1 year ago. Well, 2 years ago, and I didn't really like it at first. But now I think it just represents me because I'm always like up, like I like to be moving a lot, and it just
Well, it's
It
got like a
just-
chrome inlay, kind of
Yeah.
glistens and the light
Yeah.
shining off of it, and it's really pretty neat. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, you wear
So-
it very, very well. You look very
Yes.
pretty in your helmet.
Thank you.
Yes, you are a very, very attractive young lady, and
Thank
you
you.
should do well in the show ring.
So, are there other girls from your stable that are competing this week?
Yes, actually, Michaela Langmeyer just showed in that ring over there.
Oh, she was in the big class
Yes.
yesterday. I was just reading the results from the welcome stake, and I noticed she got 6th or 7th. And
I got here yesterday, so I wasn't really here.
She's
but
only 13 years old. She was the youngest competitor in that class.
she's a really good rider.
How does she jump so big?
I think she just trusts her horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to interview her too because I'd be scared if I was that young and those fences were that big.
Yeah.
So,
And that stage and that arena, you know, everything together. Yeah. It sounds like you have a really good time,
I do. I just love it.
and you probably enjoyed getting. Did you get a little beach time when you were in Florida?
Yes, I did actually.
oh, nice.
Ah, yeah. Nothing better than those beaches around West Palm, is there?
Yes.
They're nice.
Yes, they are really nice.
Yes.
Do you ride your pony bareback at all?
I haven't at this pony because we're just getting to know her, but Possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we're excited to hear about how you do. So, if you can, please come back and let us
Do that.
know
I
and
will.
tell us all about your trip around the ring and how it went.
All right.
All right. Well,
Great.
Tessa, thank you. Wave to our
Wave.
viewers at home.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
You are welcome.
You want to just clip your microphone, unclip your microphone. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tessa. Good luck today. Thank you, Horse Show Mom.
Thank you. Okay. That's always fun to have the
That
the
is
kids
the
on.
best of the
Always
best
fun.
of the best. Of all of the many, many interviews I've done, I think I would more than anything enjoy a children's show about horses.
Yeah, and when you know a young lady like that sitting there at 10 years old, and that grin is from ear to ear, you can't help it.
Yes.
It's infectious. You can't help but get
Yeah.
into that. You know.
Sweet, sweet girl. That
stuff.
was Tessa Brown and Lady something Slipper. It was the lady.
Lady, yeah, I
Lady
missed
is her,
the-
her
yeah.
bar name. It was kind of a lengthy show name. Well, I had this dropped off at the desk, a promotion from Ben and Jerry's, and as you know, when I get silly, I start punning, and this is Cone and Get It. Get it? Do
Got
you
it.
get it?
I got it.
Cone and Get It.
That's right.
Cone and Get It is a celebration of Ben and Jerry's in the Saratoga equestrian tradition. Fridays, May 2nd and May 9th between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Ben and Jerry's is offering a free, that's free, totally free, ice cream cone. So between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. today and on May 9th, you can cone and get it. Cone and get your free cone.
And it's actually the booth
At
is
Ben
just
and
right here.
Jerry's.
It's very
yes,
close to us.
Yes,
right?
yes. And it is only while supplies last. So I would suggest get here around 1.
That's right.
1:30 they might be out.
See, the problem is we're on the air from 12 to 2.
No ice cream for us.
So we're done. We will get the cone, but there won't be any ice cream in it. That's right.
No.
I had a dish of cherry Garcia yesterday.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness.
Well, the sun was out yesterday. It actually warmed up, and I decided I had a very small dish of cherry Garcia. I love cherry
Yum,
Garcia. It's
yum,
good ice
yum.
cream.
I haven't met a Ben and Jerry's ice cream I don't
That
like.
you didn't
so,
like?
you know, it's really,
Yeah, it's.
haven't met one I don't like. What can I say?
I am going to attempt to read these charities again.
You are. You do
Yeah.
that, and I'm going
And
to
you can
pull up
gather
some
your thoughts.
sponsorship
Okay.
over here, too.
Just because we are, the Saratoga Springs Horse Show is run by the Capital Fund of Saratoga. Again, here are the charities that benefit from this, and since 2012, over the last 2 years, the update from Susan this morning was a little over $81,000 has been raised and donated to these various charities. And those that benefit from the Capital Fund: Domestic Violence and Rape Crisis Service of Saratoga County, Shelters of Saratoga County, Cornell Cooperative Extension, 4-H Youth Development, Backstretch Employee Service Team, Saratoga Springs EOC Soup Kitchen, St. Clement's Grade School, Saratoga Springs, Mary's Haven, Franklin Community Center, Gateway House of Peace, Saratoga Center for the Family, St. Clement's Outreach, Jake's Help from Heaven, Rebuilding Together Saratoga, Captain's Youth and Family Services, Unlimited Potential, Salvation Army, the Salvation Army right here in Saratoga Springs, and 18 Saratoga County food pantries. They all benefit from this Saratoga, the Capital Fund of Saratoga, who runs the Saratoga Springs Horse Show. They also run the expo in the fall, and they have other fundraisers through the course of the year. But horses in Saratoga are so synonymous that in Saratoga Springs, whether it's the racing area, the expo in the fall, or every spring for 55 years now, the Saratoga Springs Horse Show. It all ties together. You support the horse show, you support horses and the industry that supports Saratoga, and guess what? It all comes back in these charities right here in your area benefiting. So donate. You can call the number to an operator. You can text to Saratoga at 50155, all secure donations, or come to our kiosk set up in the exhibitor tent, make a secure donation that way. Help Saratoga, help horses, people, and everything.
Absolutely, and I'd like to recognize some of our sponsors, class sponsors toward that end. The amateur owner Hunter 3'3", 36 and over is sponsored by the New York Racing Association. Thank you, Naira, for that sponsorship. Junior Hunter at 3'3", sponsored by Abley Tractor, a wonderful resource for any farm implements in the capital region. Lead Line, sponsored by Margaret Fuston. That's Tom's Margaret. Adult Equitation, sponsored by Clothesline Laundry and Dry Cleaning. Always important for good turnout to have your riding clothes clean and spotless. We heard that from Judge Frank Willard.
Yeah, you did.
In the Hunter and Equitation ring. One of his pet peeves is if you're not turned out right, points are coming off your score. The Ralph P. Sims Medal is sponsored by the Equine Clinic at Oakencroft. Thank you, Equine Clinic. And the Equine Clinic at Oakencroft was originally founded by Marilyn Schmidt, the late Marilyn Schmidt, who has a memorial trophy being presented today. She and her husband, Rick Lesser, founded that many years ago and served Capital Region horse owners for 25 years or so. So Equine Clinic at Oakencroft, under its new ownership, is sponsoring the Ralph P. Sims Medal. The Ariat Adult Medal is sponsored by Ann's Washington Inn. The ASPCA Maclay is sponsored by Stone Lane Farm. And the Maclay is a qualifying class for a national finals that takes place later in the year, usually in October or November. So many of the junior equitation classes or medal classes that we make reference to are very, very important to the riders, whether they're adult or junior, because they need a certain number of points to qualify to participate in a national finals. And this is the opening of the show season in the Northeast to do that. The Equisport USEF Pony Medal is sponsored by Time Slice Technologies. The WIHS Hunter Phase, sponsored by Realty USA. The Syracuse PHA Adult Medal is sponsored by Wesley Community Center. The National PHA Medal, and that's again the type of class that one needs to qualify to participate in the national finals, sponsored by Shannon Rose Design. The Governor's Cup Equitation Championship, sponsored by Longfellow's Inn and Restaurant. Longfellow's has been in Saratoga Springs for a very, very long time. Wonderful restaurant and inn. It's comprised of 2 dairy barns that were built in 1915 and converted to serve the community delicious food. The Puddle Jumpers, sponsored by Ben & Jerry's. Cone and get it, Ben & Jerry's. So if you show up today between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m., there is free ice cream cones to be had at Ben & Jerry's until the supplies run out. So that's a big list of sponsors, all members of this community and area that have chosen to participate in the Saratoga Springs Horse Show by sponsorship, and we appreciate their support in every way because they are an integral part of making this show a reality and offering a big variety of classes that draws exhibitors from all over the Northeast.
And I think we're hard pressed to find another horse show or program set up like this is through the Capital Fund, where all of the dollars rotate right back through this community. It's an amazing way that they have put this thing together with the fund to keep that money, you know, the history of horses and everything that we've talked about in Saratoga, but to keep that money funneling right back through this community. It's really a unique setup. I don't know if there are any other setups that work quite like this one.
Yeah,
So
no, it's wonderful. I mean, and so much history. Many of the volunteers that I've bumped into here at the show are, oh, I remember you when you were this high. And it's more a testament to them because year after year they've been coming back to help put this horse show on. And it takes about 40 or 50 volunteers and a good year of planning. I mean, the volunteers I've spoken with are actually planning for next year's horse show now, making
Right.
notes on what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be tweaked or fixed, you know, listening to exhibitors, making notes on from their perspective, you know, from if we're showing, you know, this is what we're looking for
Right. And
support your show.
And that is so key because if the exhibitors see things that doesn't fit right from their standpoint, that doesn't make it comfortable for them, that's what influences them on decisions to come. So the fact that you sit down and listen to all that, take it in and put those, you know, keep making those modifications so that when the exhibitors come, they can come and have a good time. It's all about that.
Absolutely. And, you know, we have a glimpse into who the average exhibitor is at the Saratoga Springs Horse Show. 85% are women.
Oh, we know that.
You know,
yeah.
we've had, I think, but for Tom, 100% women on our couch this morning.
Time after
chatting.
time after time, it's all young girls. There are no young guys that come in here.
So 66% have a college degree, and most of the young ladies that we spoke to that are wrapping up their junior careers are planning their college attendance now. Some will be bringing their horses with them to a college with an equestrian program, and others will be taking some time off and then continuing as amateur owners with their horses once they complete college. The average income is $185,000, and 38% have a net worth in excess of $500,000. So that's a significant amount of income and disposable income in a very challenging economy at the moment. So I'm glad that this exists and has such a financial impact on the community of Saratoga. 22% own 2 or more homes, 3 or more vehicles, and 4 or more horses. All seems to go together, you know. 40% own a farm, 6% of those are 10 acres or more. So really a wonderful group of competitors that has the capability and the means to impact our community in a good way and to keep the horse showing circuit successful and moving ahead in this tough economy. So we really appreciate our exhibitors, and we appreciate that they choose to expend their income in this way, because there's a lot of activities pulling for people's time and money from every direction.
Right.
So a lot of lucky horses here, and very fortunate horse show.
Well, you know, one of the factors that sticks out in my mind the most is right down here, because we talked about the money cycling through Saratoga and through the community, but the
That's
economic
a lot
impact
of money.
yeah,
to
the
do that
economic impact of this horse show over its run of 10 or 11 days, whichever it is $5,250,000. Now, that's money that people bring in. It's spent here in hotels, it's spent here in food, it's spent here in souvenirs, it's spent here in all these ways. That money stays in this region. So then it can be donated into the give backs to the charities and everything else. But that's money that comes in from out of the area that stays in Saratoga County, and when the people leave and go back to their respective homes and farms, that money is left here. So that is a true economic impact of $5.25 million. You know, from the show.
And for our viewers online, if you are not able to make it to Saratoga to spectate at the show or participate, there are multiple ways that you can give. When you give online to the Capital Fund, that money goes to support a number of charities in the Saratoga area. And this, you've got this information down.
Yeah, you can see it scrolling on your screen. You can text Saratoga to 50155, make a secure donation, or you can call the number that scrolls by, 518-306-5121, and make a secure donation to one of our telephone operators.
Yes.
Or the kiosk in our tent in here if you're on grounds. And like Susan said, you know, if you can't be here, obviously you're watching us on the internet. But if you can't be here, also all 3 of the rings are being live streamed, and for a very minimal charge, of which part of that goes to the charities as well.
Yes.
You can, you know, watch action in any ring. The schedule is on the internet. So if you're at the Saratoga Springs Horseshow.com website, which you are or you're not watching us, you can go to the schedule, see that schedule. There's something you want to watch. You can pick that show ring and watch that. And of course, come back and check us for results of all of them as we do our 2-hour blocks 3 times a day.
Absolutely. And just for some insights into some of the riders that you will see frequently in the rings streaming, you can catch Hillary Reinheimer of Foggy Meadow Farm in East Hampton, and she's also the teacher at the Ethel Walker School. She has quite a few students here, and on Wednesday and Thursday, Hillary won a number of classes. Hillary grew up on a small farm. She comes from Connecticut. She competed on ponies, and she is a really, really accomplished rider in her junior career. Before the age of 18, she finished in the top 20 of the National Medal and Maclay finals for 5 years in a row. So if there's a girl here that knows equitation, in addition to Julie Wells, it is Hillary Reinheimer. So if you have a chance to catch some of her rounds, you can really get some insights into proper position on a horse. Hillary rode all through college, and after college she worked with Susie Sholkoff and Jennifer Alfano, who are 2 of the most successful hunter trainers and riders in this country. Another name that you will hear quite often is Leslie Miller, and Leslie Miller hails from Leslie Miller Equestrian. Leslie is a professional who has been in the business for 30 years. She has a very impressive background. She worked for Judy Richter at Coker Farm for close to 18 years. And Judy produced many, many national and international Grand Prix riders. Andre Dignelli came out of her barn, who went on to become one of the top equitation trainers in this country. Leslie has won a number of classes here. She has quite a few students that are competing over the weekend. She loves teaching, and she hails from Sandy Hook, Connecticut. And Leslie has a motto that she runs her stable by, which is, "There is no wish too small or too large that can't be achieved." So some very, very fortunate students to train under Leslie Miller with that motto riding overhead.
Oh yeah, you go down your list and there are just so many top quality people at this Saratoga show, everywhere, you know. And to reiterate what you said, they're all out here. So if you're beginning and you want to get next to, you know, people always like to gravitate toward people who are successful.
Everybody loves a winner.
That's right. And so
Age-old
they're here.
saying.
You can gravitate to them, and they're very accessible here. So you can get right to them, talk to them. And I've never met a very successful person that wasn't willing to impart some of their knowledge to you.
Mm-hmm.
They're generally very giving in that regard.
Yeah.
So it's here. Just come and take part.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see in the background, we are by the jumper ring, and the classes are going on. So, but you can go over and watch that jumper ring completely
Yes.
on its own, or one of the 2 hunter rings, right here on the web by just selecting those other places.
Well, I
to go.
was distracted for a moment because one of the young ladies that we interviewed earlier, that was her.
Is that
going
her
around.
riding? Okay.
Yes, yes. So
All right.
hopefully she'll be back.
She wanted
to,
a clean round. It looks like
yes,
she's getting it. Right?
yeah, she had a lovely round.
If we can get her
Everything
back
looked
later
good.
today to report on her round, that would be great,
That
because we're down to about 5 or 6 minutes to go in this telecast. But so again, it is for a great cause for the Capital Fund, funding all the charities. Please make a donation and assist. Keep the Saratoga Springs Horse Show going. 55 years and running right now, and as Tom said a while ago, we're working on the next 55.
Yes.
And I hope to be back 55 years from now to do the
Oh,
next
you
telecast.
and me both.
Just roll my wheelchair up and we'll be fine. You know, but
Roll us in.
but be back in the next 55. But it's really it's such a great thing, and I am very honored to be here and be a part of this. It is just tremendous.
Oh, it's a lovely show and a beautiful town to visit. You know, when you're not showing or on the showgrounds, Saratoga is so picturesque and relaxing. It's really known the world over for its history, health, and horses. There's the Racing Museum is just down the street, and for anybody that didn't get enough horses at the horse show, the Racing Museum is really a tremendous wealth of knowledge to visit and see, you know, how much this town means to horses and how much from the racing industry and breeding industry really started in Saratoga. It's significant. These are the very grounds that Seabiscuit, Man o' War, and Secretariat tread upon. So really hallowed grounds in the racing community.
And who was the gentleman that owned War Admiral that had the challenge race with Seabiscuit? Do you remember? I do not remember. His name escapes me.
Did I not tell you, don't ask me questions I can't answer on the air?
No, you. I missed that. I missed that.
Did I forget that line?
He lived here. That's where I was going with
Well, you know,
this.
there's, as I said, the Racing Museum, I know the Travers Stakes was, and the Sanford Stakes and the Schuylerville. There are deep roots with family that truly started the racing industry here, and that's all in the Racing Museum. I mean, there's a reason that it's the Travers Stakes, the Sanford, the Schuylerville.
Right, all those stories are there.
Yeah.
Because really, you know, even 150 years ago, a train ride up from New York City to here was an hour or two. Mm-hmm. You know, right up the Hudson River basically, and you're here. Mm-hmm. So it's easily accessible to, you know, all of the population of New York City and that area. So the history of coming up here, you know, at the base of the basically Adirondack Mountains, in a beautiful area with the springs, it all just fits. With, you know, for the getaway in the summer, the racing and everything makes it just a package.
Well, and the state park is lovely when the sun is shining. It's a great public golf course, one of the best in the area, and it's the grounds that the Gideon Putnam is on, as well as the Saratoga Performing Arts Center.
Right.
So it really is the horse show and much, much more that can be enjoyed during time in Saratoga.
As a matter of fact, I mentioned a couple of days ago when I was here in September, I was here during Farm Aid. And when I was trying to get to sleep, Willie Nelson was singing, and that's all I could hear was Willie. But, you know, so there are many, many things that happen, you know, right here. And it's just a great, and there's a lot more people walking by.
Yes,
The crowd is building.
The crowd is building. One of the stables to watch this weekend, especially with all of the equitation classes, is North Run. That is Missy Clark and John Brennan are the trainers, and Julie Wells, who I talked about earlier, was just brought aboard as the assistant. Missy and John have produced equitation stars one after the next, year after the year. Many have developed into national and international Grand Prix jumping stars. So this particular horse show at the beginning of the season in the Northeast is a great place to get a sneak peek at some really raw talent that is just being brought out. Might be some, you know, youngsters that didn't do the Florida circuit for one reason or another, but this is their debut horse show.
Right.
So anytime that Missy, John, or Julie Wells are standing at the in-gate, make a note of that name, watch that rider, and it may be a Julie Wells in the making.
You know what strikes me too is that it is a very rewarding to be in a place where, with the Saratoga race course and the history that it has, going back to 1863, and the history of horse racing, both standardbred and thoroughbred in this country, that we're sitting in Saratoga and we're at the race course basically, we're just across the street. But it's how it's branching out and how we're really celebrating all facets of the horse industry. And how racing is also embracing that through the thoroughbred retirement programs where you can retrain and repurpose those thoroughbreds. And what'd you say that was Cantor that kind
Cantor
of
is
oversees
one
that?
of them. Yep. There's actually several organizations, and in town I ran into a gal that runs the Thoroughbred Retirement Fund, and she's going to come in next week and speak
Great.
to us.
Great.
Is very familiar with some of the horses.
But how racing is reaching out and encompassing all of the horse world, because all the horse world needs to be together to survive, and to really promote what it's all about. And it's, this is a
absolutely.
great example of that with what you see around Saratoga Springs.
It is. It is. Working in harmony and concert with
Yeah.
one another for the good of the horse. You know,
That's-
without happy, healthy horses, we don't have a horse industry. So, responsibility and integrity is paramount in whatever facet of the industry you're involved in.
And that would be my Andy Rooney moment, right? Are we done?
Yeah, we're pretty much.
Hey, we are done.
See us at 12.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne, and we'll see you at noontime.